The Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7 said, "We are walking by faith, not by sight." We know who Jesus is because we are helped by Jehovah's Spirit and his message in the Bible to have faith. But we cannot see Jesus with our physical eyes, so there are many who try to make us think Jesus is someone who he is not. The Catholic Church and other Christian denominations paint Jesus as a little baby, and they remember him as such in the celebration of Christmas, as if he is just a baby, and there is nothing else to remember about him. But they also paint him as an effeminate, with weakness and long hair, and with no masculine strength or dignity. Jehovah's Witnesses, for example, keep teaching that Jesus is tender. The word tender means weak. A tender piece of chicken breaks easily in your mouth, and a tender plant cannot survive freezing temperatures. The word tender has been inserted into the translation of the Bible where it did not exist in the original languages. The idea they want to promote is that Jesus is extremely gentle, beyond what is ordinary masculinity and what is acceptable between righteous men. This is disgusting to us who know who Jesus really is. Others teach that Jesus is the Most High God, and they praise him in a fanatic way, like lunatics in a frenzy, making Jesus into a mockery. The Bible reveals exactly who Jesus is. Jesus explains who he is in Revelation chapter 22 and verse 16. "I, Jesus, sent my angel to bear witness to you about these things for the congregations. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright morning star." He clearly reveals that he is a descendant of King David, from the tribe of Judah, from the ancient nation of Israel. He is not ashamed to identify himself as a Jew because he knows that it will help us to tie his identity in with the other parts of the Bible, which were all written by the Jews. There are plenty of reasons why Jesus could view the Jewish nation as beneath him, seeing that he is the bright morning star. But Jesus has the humility and love of humans to admit openly that he is a descendant of Israel and David. In Revelation chapter 5 and verse 5, the angel says, "Look, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has conquered so as to open the scroll and its 7 seals." The Jewish prophet tells us more about Jesus in Numbers chapter 24, verses 17 and 19, which was recorded by Moses 1,470 years before Jesus was born on earth. It says, "A star will come out of Jacob, and a scepter will rise out of Israel. And he will certainly break apart the forehead of Moab and the skull of all the sons of tumult. Out of Jacob one will be subduing, and he will destroy any survivor from the city." Jesus, the bright morning star, is also described as a scepter. A scepter was a symbol of kingly power and authority. And using his power as king, he will destroy his enemies. No, Jesus is not a baby, not tender, and certainly not an effeminate. The Bible shows us how we should remember him. In Matthew chapter 28 verse 18 it says, "Jesus approached and spoke to them, saying, 'All authority has been given me in heaven and on the earth.'" And in Acts chapter 2 verse 36, Peter, who was a Christian Jew and prophet, says, Let all the house of Israel know for a certainty that God made him both Lord and Christ, this Jesus whom you impaled. There are many powers and authorities on the earth, leading and influencing the people, and sometimes persecuting Jesus' genuine followers. But Revelation chapter 17, verses 12 to 14, tells us what Jesus will soon do during the war of Armageddon. It says, "The 10 horns that you saw mean 10 kings, who have not yet received a kingdom, but they do receive authority as kings 1 hour with the wild beast. These have one thought, and so they give their power and authority to the wild beast. These will battle with the Lamb, but because he is Lord of lords and King of kings, the Lamb will conquer them. Also those with him who are called and chosen and faithful will do so." After warning the congregations that the Jezebel woman is being tolerated in the congregation, and that his so-called disciples are committing spiritual adultery with her, Jesus says this to those who do not accept the teaching of Jezebel and her lovers in Revelation chapter 2, verses 24 to 28. "I say to the rest of you who are in Thyatira, all those who do not follow this teaching, I am not putting on you any other burden. Just the same, hold fast to what you have until I come. And to the one who conquers and observes my deeds down to the end, I will give authority over the nations, and he will shepherd the people with an iron rod, so that they will be broken to pieces like clay vessels, just as I have received from my Father. And I will give him the morning star." We who are walking by faith rather than sight know that Jesus is the mighty King of kings and Lord of lords. And after the nations have been shepherded into the sheep and the goats by our strong and bold message, Jesus will smash the opposing God-haters to pieces. Jesus must be remembered as he really is. Those who love him will memorialize his death on the correct date, which is coming soon, just as he commanded. We will remember his death and what he gave, but also who he truthfully is right now and what he's about to do.